is Gunnar Sevelius. I'm a retired physician. I grew up in Sweden during World War II and actually saw thousands of refugees seeking home security in neutral Sweden. I actually married a refugee from war-torn Estonia. The social force that causes war has intrigued me since high school time. My wife's family history kept the interest from my youth alive. Actually, I have spent my last 10 years in retirement to find the cause to war in hope that such knowledge would lead to global peace, because most people do not want war. Today, I think I have really good news. It will only take a few minutes to present, but I hope you find it worthwhile. For more than 10 years, I've tried to find social forces that cause war. Indeed, today I can report on not only forces that cause war, but also on the forces that have steered the whole human society since the dawn of social living. They are still, today, as pertinent as they were some 200,000 years back. I'm here referring to 9 specific common denominators, the 9 pillars of history that can be deducted from tribal time. The first pillar need is the one necessary for survival of any life. It has 5 modalities: food, water, air, energy, and sex. Which modality came first, I don't know, but it could have been a bacteria that held the key code for survival in any one of its genes. When it mutated for the first survival, it adjusted its division in order to start its evolutionary road and eventually, some million years later, form a human being, a Homo sapiens. The remaining 8 pillar needs are necessary for human society to survive, with both peace and individual dignity. These 8 pillars are dwelling, cleanliness, art, communication, community support, religion, access to medical care, and trade. The whole history of Homo sapiens cannot be divided into just 3 historical time periods, each depending on how food was transported. First, handheld for early tribal time, from 200,000 years back until, or probably more, until about 10,000 years ago. Second, animal-drawn food transport in agriculture time, from about 10,000 years back until the year 1826, when the first machine, the steam engine, was invented and used for food transport. Eventually, industrial time started with different kinds of machine food transport from 1826 and has led to our modern mega-sized cities. It is interesting that the female social role and political role in society parallels it in time with the means of food transport. In early tribal time, the females were socially and politically equal partners with their men. In agriculture time, the females lost all their political influence and in many societies lost access to education. In some societies, this attitude towards females still prevails. In industrial time, or just for the last 100 years, the female role is slowly recovering her political and social standing within society. After our long review of 200,000 years of the 9 historical pillars, only 2 kinds of social leadership are recognized. First, democratic, based on the golden rule, because no society is sustainable without the golden rule. Number 2, dogmatic, based on royal, religious, and political dogma, and always leading to war conflicts. The 9 pillars of history each have 3 inevitable traits. They are all eternal, otherwise they would not be a pillar need. They all must be sustainable, otherwise they would not stay as a pillar need. And each one, including the 5 modalities of the survival pillar, can only be controlled by market forces. This has a social fallout, namely the tragedy of the commons. The tragedy of the commons is a 10,000-year-old social rule that started in agriculture time with the tribes trying to negotiate common grazing ground, which and whose animals should have access to the grassland, whose cows, sheep, or horses. The problem appeared eternal until the invention of the barbed wire in the 1800s. The principle of the tragedy of the commons still lives on because what many own, nobody owns. To be in control of the grassland and to be in control of any power, specifically tax money, has led to for the control of countries with royal and religious political dogmatism that so far has led to 10,000 years of war conflicts and may continue. Control of large corporations leads to drift of capital to the top with its control of income distribution. Control of governments leads to secured 9-pillar need for those in close control of tax money. Access to medical care is a pillar need, the 8th. The cost of this pillar need is presently unsustainable, both in Western Europe with 9% and in the US with 17% of the gross domestic product. The cost of the need for medical care will therefore steal cash from the cost of the other 8 pillar needs. This is the first description of the forces that have steered human society since its dawn. I hope it is the ultimate truth, but you have to be the judge. If you think I'm wrong, let me know, so I can correct myself. If you think I'm right, let others know, and spread the word for the good of ultimate global peace. Thank you from Gunnar.